Hey everyone, Liam here with another video of TRI weather, and we have a lot to go over in this video. So here's your top weather news and headlines. A large trough has developed, and along with it, a very large storm system that looks to bring all sorts of weather across the United States. Yet another severe weather outbreak is possible for the south and southeast, and this one could be worse than last week's severe weather outbreak. This system is forecasted to bring extremely strong winds, possible large and dangerous tornadoes, flooding, and yes, even some snow across the far north. I'll forecast it all right here on TRA Weather. Alright, today's date is March 29, 2022. We are currently over a week in the spring, and springtime severe weather is already off to a strong start. Here's a look across the country with the National Weather Service hazards map. I'm expecting this to get very busy later on tonight and all day tomorrow. Although we do have a lot of advisories and warnings out there currently, it's not a very wide variety. Three main things stand out on this map the most. One of them being the red flag warning shaded in dark pink across Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, Kansas, and Nebraska, with very strong winds of over 35 miles per hour and humidity levels of 15% or lower. Wildfires can spread extremely easily. So if you are under that red flag warning and are dealing with anything flammable, use extra caution. Areas in purple are some winter weather advisories for the wintry side of this storm system, and the brown shaded area are all under wind advisories. Regardless if you see severe weather or not, this storm system is going to bring extremely windy weather. So now let's time out this storm system with the future radar starting off at 6 p.m. Eastern Time this evening. Now, not a lot of action going on, but you can see the center of our storm system over the Kansas and Nebraska border. Later on tonight, things start to pick up a bit. The first severe thunderstorms could develop at around 10 to 11 p.m. Eastern Time tonight, but not expecting those to be of much concern, but some hail and an isolated tornado can't be ruled out. Now into the middle of the night / early morning hours, this is when that line could start to develop, but not very strong yet. But while that's still getting organized, some snow showers start falling across the Dakotas and Minnesota, and even some freezing rain there shaded in pink. Forward now to Wednesday morning, that line of storms continue to move east, picking up momentum in some more favorable conditions for severe weather. By Wednesday afternoon, the bulk of the severe weather will be over Louisiana, Arkansas, and South Missouri. And one thing we are really going to have to watch is how much development we get ahead of that main line of storms. If we get some additional development, it'll be much easier for tornadoes to develop. And I really think the amount of available energy we could see could drastically change than it's currently forecasted. I'll go deeper into that in just a bit. But this model does predict currently that some activity ahead of the main line of storms is going to happen. And even if we don't see that and we just end up with a single organized line of storms, tornadoes are still likely, along with some very strong and serious straight line winds. By Thursday afternoon, the severe weather will be tapering off, with the remnants in northern Florida and southern Georgia. Now, compared to last week's event, we do have adequate wind shear, both directional and speed-wise. In fact, speed-wise, we have a bit more wind shear in the mid-levels of the atmosphere, so that won't be helpful in stopping tornadoes and strong straight-line winds from happening. But we don't exactly have as much available energy for these storms as we did before. Wednesday afternoon Cape values only around 500 to 1,000, which is still enough energy for these severe storms to develop. And it does increase a bit into the evening and nighttime hours. It's still a rather limited area of energy, but I think this could change quite a bit. Now, one of the main things that gets the fuel and available energy higher is sunshine. The amount of cloud cover ahead of the main line will really determine how much energy we get. So here I overlaid the future radar with the projected cloud cover. You can see out ahead of that line, we actually over the last few runs have gotten less cloud cover over Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida. We'll see if that trend continues. Again, could change quite a bit in favor for more severe weather. Now on over to the categorical severe weather outlook for this evening. We have a pretty decent area under a level 2 out of 5 risk for severe weather tonight and overnight, extending from Texas up into Iowa. And from the Storm Prediction Center, this is a slight risk of severe thunderstorms into this evening and tonight from the lower Missouri Valley into central Texas. Summary is severe thunderstorms are expected this evening and tonight from the lower Missouri Valley region to central Texas. Damaging wind gusts, hail, and a few isolated tornadoes are possible. Now to the categorical outlook for Wednesday has a quite large level 4 out of 5 risk shaded in red for severe weather, roughly in the same area we did last week. That moderate risk covers over 100,000 square miles and nearly 8 million people. The biggest city under that risk is Memphis, Tennessee. The enhanced risk has over 10 million people under it, the slight risk with over 16 million, and the marginal risk with a very large 21.9 million people. From the Storm Prediction Center for Wednesday's outlook, there is a moderate risk for severe thunderstorms across parts of Louisiana, eastern Arkansas, Mississippi, western Tennessee, Alabama, and the western Florida Panhandle. The summary is a regional outbreak of severe thunderstorms is expected Wednesday across the lower Mississippi Valley and southeast. All severe hazards are possible, including widespread damage and winds, some over 75 miles per hour. That's Category 1 hurricane force, and several tornadoes, some of which could be strong as EF2+. We once again have torcons of 6 that cover parts of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and a little bit of Florida and Arkansas. Over 5 million people are under a torcon of 6. Major cities under torcons are Baton Rouge with a 6, Memphis with a 5, Nashville with a 4, and all the way up into Indianapolis with a torcon of 3. And I also want to include Wednesday's wind outlook, where once again a large area is currently under a level 4 out of 5 risk for strong winds. Nearly 6 million people are under that moderate risk for severe winds. Memphis is under that moderate wind risk, Nashville is under that enhanced risk, Atlanta is under the slight risk, and Houston under a marginal risk. Now over lastly to the precipitation amounts. The system could dump quite a bit of rainfall across the southeast under a rather short period of time. Mainly 1 to 2 inches with locally higher amounts are possible. Flooding will definitely be a concern. Now we can't also forget about the snow the system will bring to the far north. This is one of 2 models' projected totals. The GFS here is a little more robust than the second model is, with generally 2 to 5 inches with locally higher amounts into Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the UP of Michigan. Even though the European model isn't quite as confident as the GFS, both are still in generally good agreement. Well, that concludes today's video of TRI Weather. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure to hit the like button, share the video, and subscribe to my channel to stay updated and informed on all of the latest weather news and information. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.